Good morning. It is 9 a.m. on this Thursday. I'm Melissa Holmes. We've got a half hour left of Daybreak here on WGRZ Plus. And we begin this morning with some more justice for the 514 families following this announcement from New York's Attorney General.
Mean Arms will pay $1.75 million to the families of those killed, to bystanders, and those who were injured.
Mean Arms sold a gun accessory called an MA lock, and Peyton Gendron used it to fire off more rounds faster in the racially motivated attack on May 14th, 2022. The company must now permanently stop selling it in New York. Mean Arms also has to make sure that all of its product packaging visibly states that the device cannot be sold or resold in the state, and notify all other businesses that sell the lock. And while this is considered a legal victory for families of the victims, they tell Two on Your Side that more work needs to be done. Daybreak's Natalie Foss is joining us live in the newsroom with more. Natalie?
Well, Melissa, family members of the 10 people murdered on 514 were actually there yesterday for this announcement by the Attorney General. They tell us that while these lawsuits will financially help many of them, there's a pain that will never go away. And they're not going to just pocket all of this money. They say some of it will be used for other settlements to continue to fund other lawsuits, as well as future advocacy efforts against gun violence. Garnell Whitfield, who lost his mother Ruth, said the money will also help the families that have experienced financial hardship when they lost the breadwinner of their family. Now, the Attorney General called this a victory, but the families are reminding everyone of the heartbreaking cost.
I never want to have a family member be called by the funeral director and said, try to find the best hat that you can bring because of the damage that was done.
Someone's being held accountable, but there's so many more. There's just so much more work to do. It's hard to get too excited about this.
The shooter's parents have also agreed to a settlement, but that amount is confidential. There's also the settlement with the store that the shooter bought his weapon from, Vintage Firearms, and that amount could be released once it's finalized. Other lawsuits against social media companies are still pending. There's another piece of this too. Families spoke to us yesterday about the continued pain that's caused by how long the federal death penalty trial has been taking. The shooter is back in court tomorrow. Live it on your side in the newsroom, Natalie Foss, Channel 2 News.
All right, Natalie, thank you. Well, today is the day that we pause to remember another terrible tragedy in Western New York's history. 17 years ago tonight, Flight 3407 crashed into a home in Clarence Center. The crash of Colgan Air Flight 3407 killed 49 passengers and crew on board and one person on the ground. The crash happened as the plane coming from Newark approached the Buffalo airport, and in the aftermath, a federal investigation determined that the cause was likely due to pilot error, believing that the pilots didn't react properly to the warning that the plane was about to stall. In the years since the crash, the families of the victims have spent countless hours in Washington, D.C., fighting for tougher regulations for regional carriers, including pilot training hours. Their work helped to create the safest stretch in aviation history, 16 years without a commercial crash. And now two Western New York congressmen on opposite sides of the aisle are working together to keep up the fight for safer skies. Congressman Tim Kennedy and Nick Langworthy introduced the Safe Flights for Passengers and Flight Crews Act. The bipartisan bill would close a federal loophole allowing some charter airlines to operate flights under less strict safety standards. The bill would require any airline regularly using larger aircraft to meet the same federal safety and training standards, including the 1,500-hour pilot rule, which was put in place after the 2009 crash. It is 9:04 on Daybreak. In other news this morning, a Lancaster man has pleaded guilty to aggravated harassment in connection with a road rage incident in Cheektowaga, all caught on camera. The case stems from this viral video, which was taken in May of last year. It shows 35-year-old Justin Goodrich yelling profanities and racial slurs at a woman on Union Road in Cheektowaga. Investigators say at one point he reached into the woman's passenger side window and grabbed a child by their shirt collar, leaving a scratch. The Goodrich faces up to a year behind bars when he's sentenced at the end of April. We're trying to learn more about this incident on Locust Street in Buffalo. You can see a lot of police vehicles and fire trucks in the area. Officers at the scene did not give us any details on what was happening, but we did see them inside of a house talking to someone. We reached out to police for more information, and we will update you as soon as we hear back. Well, the trial is now set for the disturbing death of Sam Nordquist. You might remember he's the transgender man brutally beaten, tortured, and found dead in a field in Yates County almost a year ago. Authorities said there was no evidence of a hate crime, but now 7 people connected to his death are set to go to trial. Investigators say Nordquist was traveling from Minnesota to Canandaigua back in September of 2024 and lost contact with family. They believe he was physically, sexually, and psychologically tortured in the months that followed before his body was dumped in a field.
They all deserve nothing less than life without the possibility of parole. Every single one of them. I've had people say death penalty, death penalty. New York should get the death penalty back. No, that's too easy. I want them to suffer the way they made my son suffer.
Even if they do get life without the possibility of parole, it would be a weight lifted. But the way I feel, I don't think any amount of justice is going to bring me peace because I just don't have my brother.
All 7 defendants remain in jail and are due back in court April 22nd and 24th. Okay, Patrick, it is your turn. It is 9:06 right now and 21 degrees out there. Yes, you're doing the forecast one more time this morning. I promise that's it.
So I've got kind of some breaking news.
What's that?
That I revealed with Pete just a little bit ago.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
We have full team coverage. We got our helicopter going up to cover it too. The drones, no. So you said earlier today, God, this just seems like it's been the coldest winter. And I said, well, you know, when it's all said and done, this isn't even going to come close to ranking, you know. Well, guess what? If winter were to end today, and winter being December, January, February, okay, this would be the 4th coldest winter on record.
So it is cold.
No, right. However, the next 2 weeks are going to be warm, and it will take us out of probably even a top 20. Well, it may take us into a top 15 to top 20 maybe, okay? But no, it's been very cold. And so I looked. I mean, think about that. We only have 2 weeks left of winter, you know, meteorological winter, which is the 3 months. And if it were to end today, 4th.
Wow.
Yeah. As it turns out, it was below average December, January, and so far in February. December had a cold start. It had a pretty mild stretch around Christmas. And then January, of course, had a little bit of a mild stretch to begin the month. And then it got deep freezing.
And dare I say that we got through this winter with no major snowfalls?
No, we had... we've had a couple of larger ones, but no big monster blizzard, not even a big monster storm. It's just been kind of persistent. You know, the snowfall, by the way, is 10 inches above average. So it's not been a crazy snow year, okay? Yeah. And I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of snow for the next 2 weeks. So, you know, March can be a different story. My point is, it's been a cold winter. And it's been fairly snowy, but not crazy snow. And no major storms, Whew. Okay, chilly, mostly cloudy. There are some snow showers still. Quiet into the weekend with some warming and a thaw on the way for next week. It is plenty cold now, but remember, we started the week well below 0. We're now right around 20. Snow showers are beginning to wind down. We just have some flurries around Buffalo, some light snow down towards the Boston Hills, and that will begin to fade away in the next couple of hours, but it's going to stay snowy probably into the early afternoon, and some snow showers coming off Lake Ontario. Future look kind of diminishes everything. Tonight, we fall back into the, I would say, the teens to low 20, no, I would say single digits to low teens tomorrow morning. Then we warm it up into the right around 30. Friday night, a batch of snow comes through. Won't even really know. Well, if you're driving around Friday night, you might notice it. And then that goes away. Snowfall for the rest of this day in the hills, maybe another coating to 1/2 inch. And again, there's the warmth. This is the 8 to 14 days. So this basically takes us very close to the end of the month. I think there might be a weather pattern change the other way, very end of Feb into March, but it's going to be a mild stretch, it looks like, for at least 10 days, if not a little bit longer. Okay, and there's that snow winding down. So for today, early snow shower, mostly cloudy, cool. For tonight, mostly cloudy, down to 10. And then for tomorrow, partly sunny, 31, with clouds increasing and some snow showers tomorrow night. There again is the outlook for the next 7 days, which includes a warmer weather pattern next week with lots of 40s, mid 40s by Wednesday, with a chance of some snow showers on, let me get around here, Wednesday, both in the South Towns and the Southern Tier, and mid 40s for highs by the middle of the week, Melissa.
That looks so nice. Patrick, thank you. 21 degrees right now. We'll be back with much more Daybreak straight ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back. Bills Mafia. We know that they're everywhere, and yes, they're even at the Olympics. A car decked out in Bills colors was spotted in Cortina during the Winter Olympics, and the fan who snapped the photo says he saw the car parked across from the hotel, and he had asked the driver if she was really a Bills fan, and she told him that she absolutely loves the team and even plans to be in Buffalo for a game in November. So we've got a couple Bills fans there, the one who took the picture and sent it to us.
Right.
And then the person who lives in Italy and drives that Bills car.
Where the mafia are very familiar, by the way.
Yes, good point, Patrick. So that's fun to see. I wonder how the American representation is of like fans who've gone there to
I think it's
watch
hard
the
because
Olympics.
it's not in one central area. So it's like, do I go to the indoor stuff, which is in Milan, or do I go to the outdoor skiing stuff, which is in the mountains?
And I'm wondering whether it has watered down the excitement because it's
so spread out.
You know, obviously it's majestic and wonderful, and you know this only happens once every 4 years.
But like, where's the Olympic Village? Is it in Milan or is it up in the mountains? Because it's what is it, like 200 miles?
They built it and they're going to use them now as like college dorms.
In Milan?
I don't know where they are. I should know because there was a big story about it. But yeah, they are not. They're certainly not very fancy, but there was really a need for student housing, and so those will all be turned into student dormitories, essentially. But yeah, there has to be one in both places, right?
I don't know. I think you're right.
There has to be. They're 4 hours
when you have
apart.
it just one area, boom, I think the excitement's far greater.
Yeah.
It's all spread out. I mean, 200 miles, that's like having an event here.
In Albany. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
Okay. Men's hockey is underway, and Tage Thompson and Team USA are playing today, 3:10 against Latvia. I don't know if it's Latvia or Latvia. That's another thing. I'm very frustrated at myself this
If you're
morning.
from Buffalo, it's Latvia.
If you're from Northern California,
it's Latvia. Darling, let's this holiday in Latvia.
You're absolutely right. Okay, but Sabres captain Rasmus Dahlin, not Dahlin, Dahlin.
Hey, is Dahlin playing in Latvia? It just doesn't. Okay.
Okay, he sat down with sports director John Scott, I'm dying right now, to talk about the opportunity to play in his second Olympics. Take a look.
What does it mean to you to be an Olympian again?
No, it's definitely a dream come true, especially being from Sweden. You know, it's probably the biggest thing you can win back home. So it's, you know, you always look at Olympics when he was a kid, and looked up to all the Swedish stars, and you know, it's for sure a dream come true. Do you have a greater appreciation this time than the first time in 2018? I think so, definitely. You know, being 17, I didn't really appreciate everything that was happening around it. Playing the games, I really did not understand how big it was. So this time, I'm definitely gonna enjoy it more. What are your Olympic memories growing up as someone in Sweden? You have the 2006, I think it was 1994. Like, there's so many memories from the Olympics that are a huge part of Swedish history. So a lot of them, 14. So it's a lot of memories. Can you appreciate in the moment what it means to now be part of that history? And as you said, something that is held in such high regard within your country? What it means?
Yeah, the appreciation of you are now part of the national team that is representing your country in the Olympics, and those memories that you were talking about made you want to be an Olympian. Now you are in those shoes yourself.
Yeah, no. Like I said, being from Sweden, that was the biggest thing you could be a part of. So I remember Ledström, Forsberg, Zetterberg, all those guys, Sundin, legends. They all played Olympics, and you look up to them, and those were the guys who were playing street hockey and stuff like that. So it's an honor, obviously, and it's a dream come true.
What are you most looking forward to this time around?
Winning.
Simple, just winning.
Yeah, honestly, that's all I really care about this time. I haven't won a lot in my hockey career. I have some stuff when I was younger, but I need something bigger.
Is it interesting to look at being an Olympian as almost like a business trip? This is what, if winning is all that matters, it's strictly hockey and a business trip. Is that an interesting way to view such a global great honor and event?
Obviously, you gotta enjoy being in the Olympic Village, seeing all the athletes and stuff. But when it comes to business, you gotta give it all. We're there to play hockey. We're there to try to win gold, and we kind of learned that at Four Nation. We didn't really handle it well. We didn't see it as a business trip. So this time, it's different.
You're representing Sweden, but in another way, you're representing the Sabres. What does it mean to you to represent this organization, especially with some other teammates on other of their country's teams on that scale?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a part of it, and I'm individual. I'm going to try to play as good as I can and make the Sabres proud. That's definitely a part of it.
All right, that's Rasmus Dahlin. Not an incredibly energetic guy when he does media interviews, but to be the captain of the Sabres, I'd imagine he's very different in the locker room. I kind of am curious to see what kind of leader is he like on the ice and in the locker room.
Players don't always, there's no Dion Dawkins on the Sabres.
No.
In terms of just like revealing a little bit of their character.
Right. Or maybe we just don't get to see that, and there is, but they don't show the media. But Marty Baron, I remember when he played for the team, and he was just as like lovable and fun for his locker room interviews as he is, as an announcer now. But yeah, as far as like really energetic,
most hockey interviews are kind of.
Not everyone can be Pete Gallivan, right?
No doubt. That should be written on above the front door of the building here. Nobody can be Pete Gallivan. Welcome to Channel 2. Anyway.
On that happy note, we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, and we are getting ready for Valentine's Day, and whether you're celebrating with a loved one or a spouse,
or both,
or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or just celebrating by yourself. I know, as Kevin said.
Kevin said it's really tough. What did he say?
Yeah, it's really tough to buy a gift for a girlfriend, especially when you have a wife or something like that. Right. Kevin said it only how Kevin could, because he's so funny and I'm not. Anyway, he was at Fowler's Chocolates today and showed us this long-standing family company here in Western New York. Take a look.
We are behind the scenes at Fowler's Chocolates, part of Western New York since 1910. Do you get the Willy Wonka or the Lucy skit reference the most? What do you?
Yeah, we get the Lucy one a little bit more often than the Willy Wonka, but they're both part of my life. I can't seem to avoid it. It's all right.
Busy time of year, certainly, for you guys. So what line are we standing by now?
This is an enrobing line where we coat things in chocolate. We're doing some hand-dipped strawberries today. This line does all our sponge candy, caramel screws. Anything that gets covered in chocolate gets done here on this machine that you're resting on. And today it's chocolate-covered strawberries in preparation for Valentine's Day.
What's is the biggest day for you?
It can be. It's always right up there with, say, Good Friday or maybe.
Sure, for Easter, of course.
Yeah. So there's a couple really big days in our calendar. We're ready for them, and we prepare them. They don't show up out of the blue. We know when they're coming, and we do our best to be ready.
Over 100 years in Western New York. Who started this?
Oh, it was started by the Fowler's family, back at the turn of the century. Actually, before 1910, Joseph Fowler came over and was selling his goods outside of the Pan American Exposition, or so I'm told. And then he formed a real company, 8 or 9 years later, that became Fowler's Chocolates over on the east side of Buffalo and Jefferson Avenue. We spent a little bit of time in West Seneca, and we moved it here in '94.
Did he do sponge candy way back then too, or when did that come around?
I never asked him. But I think it's been around for as long as I've known it, and we've concluded that lack of any evidence to the contrary is the oldest candy company in Buffalo. We're the original and authentic makers of sponge candy.
And again, it's certainly a Valentine's Day tradition too.
Yeah, we're doing strawberries today. We got a whole bunch of Valentine's-specific product out in the stores, but sponge candy is what sells best every single day of the year, whether it's a holiday or a regular day in July.
There you go, fantastic. Okay, so we get home, refrigerate the strawberries, or leave them on the counter.
Well, the first thing to do is to eat them all before they get too old. But if you need to store them a little bit, I would say the refrigerator's a pretty good deal. Close the lid, keep them tight. They won't last forever in the fridge, but they will last a day or two. And
there you go. Eat
enjoy them.
Eat them up. There you go. So again, this is one of 5 locations. This is the Black Rock location, the manufacturing facility. They sell out of here and 4 other locations in Western New York. On your side in Buffalo, I'm Kevin O'Neill, Channel 2 News.
That's a fast production line.
Dude has mastered the white chocolate drizzle.
I mean, those come out
that is
very
not
opposite of the Lucy scene.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so we have some sponge candy here, and you've got the Puppy Hearts.
Yes.
Milk chocolate.
Yes.
All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Get it? Sugarcoat it. But sponge candy is very, very pricey.
Is it?
But now that you see the labor that goes into cutting it and making it and coating it, it makes sense that it's expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's expensive. It is delicious.
I'm going to have one of these.
Okay, and so you got the milk chocolate. We were talking earlier, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, orange chocolate. You're a milk chocolate guy. I'm definitely a dark chocolate
I can do
girl.
milk or dark. Just
dark,
not
I like the bitterness of the dark.
Can't do it.
But orange chocolate,
Can't do it.
It's an acquired taste.
Won't do it.
I shouldn't eat this. You know that after I eat this, you have to do all the talking because sponge candy will stick to the roof of your mouth.
Really? Go for it.
Oh.
That's graceful. Wow. Manners were left at the front door.
I meant to do a small bite, and that turned out, Mike was talking. Thanks for doing the close-up as I'm eating. There's nothing more awful than eating on TV.
I know. Because it's
great.
like,
it's delicious.
The viewers have no idea what, anyway, it's good. These are really good. Puffy Hearts, milk chocolate.
And again, shop local, whether it's Fowler's, Watson's, Kelly's Country Store does amazing chocolate also, or go to the Broadway Market during Easter time and get your chocolate there, which...
There's another really good chocolate, Jen Stenonis.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, man down.
I know.
She brought me some chocolates from another chocolate store locally. I can't remember.
I'm making a mess.
Delicious. It's a packet of like 9, little...
What's your... If you have to go into the chocolate and you don't know what's on the inside... You know how type A I am. If I have to open up a chocolate box with the candy and it doesn't tell you which one is in there, I kind of have like an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Like I need to know this is
right.
the nougat, this is the coconut,
you
this
can have
is the
failure.
cherry, and I don't want
failure.
the cherry.
Oh, I know. Especially because sometimes there's a head fake. Ooh, that looks like it's got nougat and nuts. That's got to be a bonus. You open it up and it's some gooey, like toxic material.
Like black licorice.
Who
likes, but
it's true. Or some liqueur. Some liqueur that's just like currant. Right?
This is the second day in a row we brought up currant.
Oh, yeah. So,
anyway.
but if you find a good one, then it's gold. Like if it's caramel
or caramel.
Okay.
Or the truffle one. That one's good. Or the coffee flavored one on the inside.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, enough about chocolate, right? I made a mess.
You did.
Okay. I want to give my friend Nate Butel a shout out. He is the new women's basketball coach at Damon, and the Wildcats have had so much success under Nate this season. Their record is phenomenal. They're 19-2, and then 12-0 in conference play. They're ranked 13th in the country at the NCAA Division II level. The men's team under Mike McDonald went to the NCAA tournament. I mean, they're really, really good. But Nate, he started out as a sports journalist for the Tonawanda News and Niagara Gazette.
Wow.
Like 15, 20 years ago. So I knew him way back then. And he grew up here in Western New York, lives in Sanborn, has a wife and a child. And so he was at SUNY Niagara teaching women forever. And now is here at Damon. So it's just good to see this local guy have a lot of success. He taught kids basketball or coached kids basketball and worked his way up. So I'm really happy for Nate that he's doing so well.
Good job.
And,
19-2, that's crazy.
Yeah, really, really great.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to clean up this mess from the sponge candy, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.